Well, Schmo, first of all, that was off the record conversation. but yeah, I actually am, because I know Caleb Plant very well. We trained at the same gym together. His advisors was one of my fighters. You know, there's family ties there. So I'm excited. I'm more excited about seeing someone that's close to us and close to the team. I'm also excited for Kamaru. You know, he's part of the team also with Francis Ngannou and everyone. So I like them both, but I'm excited about Caleb getting his shot. Kamaru's the pound-for-pound best mixed martial artist in the world already. Nothing's going to change this upcoming weekend. So his fight's very important. But I'm a little more excited for Canelo, for Caleb, because this is a huge step for him.
And hey, you don't have to convince me. Caleb's the first boxer I ever interviewed, and we get an opportunity to unify the belts. Canelo's the #1 pound-for-pound boxer in the world. 1, 2,
3. This weekend.
Talking about Canelo.
I was in Guadalajara this weekend. Mexico town.
Oh yeah, everybody. I know they. You know they love Canelo there.
What were you doing in Guadalajara?
Sounds like the beginning of a bad joke.
Private business.
Private business.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, Canelo, Caleb Plant, that'll be exciting. And first off, I want to say, kind of lost my voice a little. I'm okay though. Don't worry. Yeah. I'm tested. I'm negative.
Don't worry. Hey, we got the vaccine.
Yeah,
Didn't
me
want
too.
to do it, but you know me. Yeah, got the vaccine, fully vaccinated.
Thought we would have to use it for travel for everything too.
Yeah. So, hey, if you with Schmo, sick or not, we with you. You know what I mean? We with you.
Now she's good.
And by the way, she lost her voice for probably yelling at your crazy ass.
That's exactly what happened.
How did you know?
We were in Florida. We were at the PFL, and she lost her voice screaming at me when we're driving on the Florida freeway. She's trying to navigate from that stuff.
Make a left, make a right. Schmo, fucking listen to me.
That's right. I can't even argue with that. That happened.
His road rage.
Yeah, you know, bad drivers. I hate being on other people's time when it comes to driving. It kills me. It kills me. So Dewey Cooper, Black Cobra Striking Systems.
Yes, sir.
Pleasure to see you in the flesh.
Thank you. It's always good to be around you, Schmo. Always good seeing you, Helen. My counterpart from the Mayweather Chow. Yeah, she used to podcast with us
I
also.
know.
Big shots to the Mayweather YouTube and everything.
Yeah, shout out to them.
Big shots to you, Schmo. Man, we got a lot of love for you, brother. So it's a pleasure being here. And we brought from Cameroon,
Carlos Takam.
Yes.
It's me.
It's you.
Ex-heavyweight champion.
That's right.
WBO
Cream
champion.
of the crop. Fought the
Carlos
who's who.
Takam.
Heavyweight boxing.
And hold on, it's Carlos Takam.
Takam.
So I'm here with Dewey. You know how I met Dewey?
Tell me how you would do it.
So you know Francis is my brother, right?
Yeah, I thought maybe a little. Of course.
Francis Ngannou, that
The heavyweight champion of the world.
Champion of the world. I was with Francis. I asked Francis, I want somebody to make me part walk. He told me, yes, I know some good guy. You're gonna like him. And the first time I met him, I was in Francis' house. I come only to visit. In the garage to visit. And he see me say, oh, Carlos, let's do a part. Let's walk in together. So I move my clothes. I stay with the gin. I have a gin, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I start to work with him. He said, oh, shit. Damn. He said, Francis, definitely that guy. I think we're going to work together.
Yes. Yeah, I'm at Francis Ngannou's house. We're in the garage. Francis and I were doing a little easy weekend workout. Carlos comes up looking like a a rich NFL football player.
Come on.
Had the cool gear on, Louis Vuitton, Christian Vuitton. You know, Carlos, if you guys have never seen him out, man, he dresses to the T, man. He's sharp as hell. You know, remember, he's Cameroonian by way of France, so he got that cool-ass fashion. And he came in the garage, swole, looking like an NFL football player. And I was like, holy shit, that's Carlos Takam. And, you know, we worked out. It was awesome. He was punching hard as hell. Damn near broke my ribs. But, you know, it was awesome, man.
Liar.
So I imagine you are a sparring partner or training partner with Francis, at least when it comes to stand-up?
Yes, you know, I trained with Francis since in Africa. Even when he was in Paris, he trained in my gym every time. When he want to box and he come to see me and with my coach, and I asked to spar, you know. I trained with Francis, I don't know, he told you about that story, right?
He told me the story.
So one day we have a exhibition fight, you know, with Francis. You know, Francis, he don't like when you punch him. So my trainer told me, Carlos, go easy, right? I said, yeah, I'm gonna go easy, but you know, Francis, he's always want to kill somebody. So we start to training, we start to fight, the exhibition fight. So Francis, I know he don't like a body shot. Yes, I hate him. The body shot. I said he get mad. He get angry. He catch me in the corner in the ring. He start to punch me. Like I said, Francis, come on, man, come down. I said, it's an exhibition. He said, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, but he lets Ryan Garcia and everyone take the Francis body shot challenge, but when it's you, he doesn't want to be touched.
Yes. That's the good guy. I like him, my friend.
My goodness.
Yes.
So you
That's
were
what the story.
So you've been training with him for years.
Yeah, for years in Paris.
In Paris.
Yeah.
So that means you're in the same gym with Ciryl Gane, who's the upcoming opponent
No,
God wasn't there yet.
that was the first gym when Francis come in Paris.
That's
It was in
before
my gym.
Francis was in UFC.
Yeah, before UFC. And one day he told me, Carlos, listen, I'm gonna try to fight MMA. That time I don't know what is MMA. I said, what is MMA? He said, martial art mix. I don't know, something like that. I said, okay, go ahead. So after a while, after 6 months or 1 year, he told me, I'm gonna sign with UFC. I said, okay. I don't know UFC. What's that? He said, I'm gonna go stay in Vegas, then start training with that people there. I said, all right, cool. And I don't know, like 3 years after I hear Francis, they were speaking about Francis everywhere, in the TV, in the radio. I called him, I said, brother, what are you doing in Vegas? He said, watch TV. So I watch TV, I see that big guy, UFC, MMA. I said, wow. Damn. I said, come on, man. Definitely respect, you know, everything you do. I remember when you was here in France, you tried to boxing, you tried to be professional boxing, and then you told me one day I'm gonna be a MMA fighter. So I believe in you, you know. Every time you told me I'm gonna do that, I said, let's do it, go do it. So now my brother, he's the heavyweight champion in MMA, UFC.
Yes.
So definitely big respect, you know.
And he's a movie star now too.
Yeah.
Fast and the Furious.
Yes.
Yeah, that's cool.
And I'm sure many more to come.
Yes.
And he's so sorry. I won't talk as much just because of my voice. But when we interviewed him, he still says he has his boxing dreams still, though.
Yes. Of course, because he wanted to box first. So
Yeah.
anytime it's something you want to do, it's definitely going to be there until, of course, he satisfies that hunger in him for boxing. And I'm hoping it happens.
No, he started
I know.
boxing. You know, when we was sitting in
Sooner
Africa,
than later.
we always dreaming to be a champion, you know, to be a world champion in the boxing, like Francis, like me, you know. Every time we were speaking about boxing in Africa, because I started boxing before Francis, when I was in national team. Francis was not in national team yet. So after I fly to Olympic Games. Yes. At that time, after Olympic Games, I hear they told me like, yes, they come and have a new heavyweight champion in in the city. They were speaking about Francis, but that time I don't know him. I don't know him yet. So after a while, I hear they was told me like, yes, that heavyweight champion from Cameroon in Africa. I said, yes. He said, he's here in France. I said, okay. I tried to meet Francis. That way, when I met him, we become friends.
So was this, because you were an Olympian, was this the Athens Olympics, 2004?
Yeah, 2004 in Athens,
Yeah, you've been around for a while.
Yes. Yes, people don't realize.
I've been around for a while, but I started boxing, I was 22, too late.
Wow.
Yes, everybody told me, like, come on, Carlos, that's a joke. What do you want to do in the box? I say, I don't know, but I'm going to try.
Didn't Jake Paul start late, too?
Yeah. Yes. But Jake Paul wasn't an Olympian. Jake Paul is my guy. BJ Flores is my guy, but different. He went through the amateurs, went through the nationals, got to the Olympics, and has had a long professional career. So it's a little different. So it's not on the same level. He went through the rigors and the vigors of being a boxer versus, catapulting yourself up there. No hate on Jake. He's doing it the right way. But this is the real way the boxers go, the way Carlos did it.
And you fought the who's, the Joe Joyces, Anthony Joshua, Derek Chisora, Joseph Parker.
Anthony Joshua was 10-day notice. Don't forget that.
Yes, 10-day notice, guys.
Yeah.
We're not forgetting. So 10 days notice, you fight Anthony Joshua, who until obviously with Usyk, considered, some argued, the best in the game right now. Obviously Tyson Fury is, I would say, separated himself.
At that time when he fought him, Joshua was considered the best
Correct.
in the game.
Correct.
I was supposed to fight Usyk in 2000, I forget it.
Like 20.
Yes, 20.
A year ago.
Yeah, I was supposed to fight him in 2020 in Chicago. The first time they said he have an injury in his hand, and the second time I don't know what happened. AJ tell me like, yes, we're gonna see, but no now.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting.
Well, but now we got to see him fight Tyson Fury, right, to unify the belts.
Before that,
Well, he has Joshua.
Yeah.
Rematch with Joshua
the
first.
rematch, I think so.
Who wins it?
Who wins what? The rematch?
Oh yeah.
Well, most people thought Joshua was going to win the first fight.
Yeah.
I knew if he went in there boxing too much and being too much of a sportsman, I knew Usyk would beat him. People underestimate these cruiserweights moving to heavyweight. They're a little faster. They have better endurance. If the fight gets deep, most of the time they can win on the scorecards.
Yeah.
You got to rough these guys up. I feel if Anthony Joshua is true to his words that he's saying right now, that he's coming to fight, it's going to be personal.
Yeah.
I think he can get it done. If it's a boxing fight, though, Usyk going to touch him up again. He needs to prepare better for southpaws also. But he needs to come with a whole different Anthony Joshua, come mean in the clinch, punching him, leaning on him, throwing him against the ropes. He got to come real grimy, like a dude from the hood versus a rich Brit. And we'll see. I think he can do it, but if someone had a gun to my head, I would probably say he's going to go back to the gentleman boxing at some point and probably get beat on the scorecards again.
For me, I think if the fight go by decision, is he gonna win again? Yes, definitely.
Definitely, because he's got the speed, obviously the size difference, the skills,
the right training camp.
Usyk's
a really excellent boxer. He's also an Olympian. People keep forgetting about that. He has a high pedigree, and he has more amateur fights than Anthony.
He has 100 amateur fights.
Yeah, so Anthony only had 30, something like that. Not many. So if it's a boxing fight, I agree with Mr. Takam here. I see Usyk touching him up again.
Yes.
I want to see Anthony Joshua really be true to his words, really change the mentality, and really work hard. And it's possible. We've seen Tyson Fury, what he did in a rematch with Deontay Wilder. He went to Crunk Gym. He went and got that real work instead of that gentleman boxing stuff. And he told Deontay in the second fight, I'm coming at you. And no one thought he was, and he did. So people can change if they're willing to put it in their minds, their hearts, and their spirit.
So, Dewey, I want to ask you something.
Yes.
What do you think about that fight, Tyson Fury and Dewey and Wilder?
The last one?
It was the fight of the year, like they say, or no?
I was in Liverpool, England, because I just won my 10th world title the same night.
Yeah.
Jamie Mitchell went out there and smashed Shannon Courtney. A lot of people don't know that. Yes, I won boxing world titles as a coach. God damn it, I won more boxing world titles than anything else. But anyway, I watched the Tyson Fury Deontay Wilder 3 in Liverpool with a bunch of Brits all around me. And man, to answer your question, Mr. Takam, I don't think so. As a fan, I say it was the most exciting heavyweight bout I've seen in a long time. As a strictly a fan, but as a coach, I didn't like it at all. Street fighting, wild technique. We often mistake excitement with a real high class boxing fight, and I felt Deontay Wilder was a little too emotional. He was way too stressed. That adrenaline dump was real, and I felt Tyson Fury got a little unruly with his techniques too. But at least he used the jab, and he tried to follow the game plan. And you seen his coach getting mad at him too, because it was a little too. They were too emotionally invested, and they were street fighting a little too much. Deontay Wilder let me down. He looked so good on the pads with Malik Scott. I'm like, man, he's gonna beat Tyson this time. He looked sharp. Went in there and threw technique out the window and just threw wild, flailing punches, and I was so disappointed watching that fight.
See, I actually was more impressed with Wilder. I thought it was going to be far more lopsided than it was. They both weighed the heaviest they've been, and since they fought each other, I think Tyson weighed in at 278, Deontay at 238.
Yeah.
Like, that's heavy for Deontay Wilder.
Very
and when he dropped him twice in the fourth round, Tyson Fury's never been dropped twice in a round. Like, I thought Deontay was going to win the fight. And then obviously from that point on and going forward, wear and tear, it prevailed. I think Tyson used his weight and he just leaned on him. He leaned on him and wore him down, and he established the jab, as you said, and he kept making Deontay fight off his back foot, which proved to be successful from the second fight.
Yes, but the knockdowns, the first knockdown after Deontay was getting beat up, when he knocked him down, how'd he knock him down? With a basic straight punch. He threw it 20%. Imagine had he thrown that punch properly and fully. He'd have knocked Tyson out with one punch. The reason why I said I was unhappy as a trainer, his techniques were so sloppy. Feet off balance, feet getting too wide, purse swinging type punches. Of course, Tyson Fury was able to defend him. The moment Deontay Wilder threw a proper technical punch, he did damage. And so I agree. Deontay fought. He showed a lot of heart. He showed grit. He showed that he was willing to do like he says and die in the ring. But technically, he was so unsound. And it wasn't because of his training. I watched the videos every day. He was throwing his shit right on the pads and on the bag. So that means there was a disconnect from the techniques he learned in the gym to the adrenaline, the endorphins, and the emotions of the fight. People forget, fight night, when you're walking down that motherfucking alley to get to the ring, shit gets really real. And if you get too emotional, your body won't even be able to perform the techniques it's practiced. And to me, that was what was so disappointing about it. I agree, exciting fight. Deontay Wilder showed heart and balls, but he didn't show brains because he didn't stay focused and throw his techniques properly. I really felt if he threw his right hands a little straighter, trusted his jab, not getting so frenetic with the jab into the body, getting all out of position and shit, he could have got Tyson Fury. I felt like Tyson Fury wasn't as sharp as he normally was, and I was surprised he wasn't as sharp as he normally is. That night was the night for Tyson Fury to fall, and Deontay just didn't have the technical supremacy to do it. That's why I was unhappy with the fight. Exciting fight, though. Very exciting fight.
So putting it all full circle, when it's all said and done, whether it's Usyk, whether it's Joshua, whether it's Fury, this time next year, who's got all the belts?
And by the way, one other thought. I was happy when I was like you, when Wilder gained that weight, I said, yeah, he's going to be strong. Yeah. But when he got in the ring, I was very unhappy. Why? Because all that weight was upper body. None of the weight was where it needed to be. In his goddamn legs. You got to put weight in your legs. Legs are the key to boxing. He has power of having skinny legs and narrow hips. Imagine if he put the real size in his legs, he would kill people. So I was very disappointed when I seen the legs. The most important part of having power and maintaining your power through a 12-round fight is your legs, your glutes, your hips. They got to be strong. And they weren't up to par in that. Answer your question, a year from now, I gotta say, I think unless Carlos Takam gets a fight,
Go ahead.
and unless he gets a fight with Usyk or Fury, I have to say Fury will be the one with the belts. I can't see Usyk beating him because he's gonna put that jab on Usyk, tie him up, make it ugly, lean on him, and I think he'll beat Usyk in a fight, in a tough fight, but I think he'll get it done.
What do you think, Carlos?
Yes, like you say, I can see Usyk beat Tyson Fury, but I want to wait. I want to wait to the next fight, Usyk and Joshua, to see what happened before I say something, you know.
Yes.
Because I would like to see Joshua and Fury fighting. I would like to see that fight.
And what about you? What do you want next?
What we want next?
In a perfect world,
Normally, I was supposed to fight that guy,
Trevor Bryan, WBA heavyweight title. That's what I want to see.
So
Done King's heavyweight.
We're gonna make that fight in February next year.
Excellent.
Yes.
All right, there it is. That's what we wanted.
Yeah, remember, Trevor Bryan has the WBA heavyweight title right now, and that's the fight I would love to see.
I was
Carlos.
supposed to fight him in next summer.
Yes.
Next
month.
year he's not ready for the fight in next summer, so we put the fight in February.
Put the fight in February.
And then Francis is fighting in
January 22nd, UFC 270.
Man.
And I'll just say this right off the bat, too. Like, you know, feel free to chime in. Everyone talks about the greatest heavyweight of all time in MMA, and a lot of people say Stipe Miocic. Well, DC was able to get a trilogy fight. How come Stipe wasn't able to get a trilogy fight? How come we weren't able to see the Stipe trilogy fight with Francis and we get the Ciryl Gane fighting for the interim title and everything like that? I was just curious how Stipe was put off to the side pretty quickly, not getting a rematch. That was always what shocked me.
I call that the invisible political machine. For some reason, the political machine, the system that makes everything the way it is, just didn't want to see that. Francis expected it. You know, Francis was willing to definitely do a third fight with Stipe. And we kind of thought that's what it would be if it weren't Jon Jones.
Right.
And then something else happened. We're all still kind of shaking our head about that, wondering why. Francis even alluded it in a video before Gunn and my boy Derek Lewis fought. He was on the boat chilling, doing the things he do, and he even said that Stipe should be next. Francis even said it. So we don't know, man. When it comes to MMA and UFC in particular, they move to their own beat, and they have the right to do so. They basically created this sport that we love so much. Yeah. But unfortunately, sometimes there's no reason for what they do. And in that case, there was no reason for it.
Well, how frustrating was it when they made that interim title?
Very frustrating, because I remember you, after Francis stopped JDS and you were questioning him, and he was like, this should have been for the interim title. What are we doing? And then he fought Rosenstruck after that. That should have been for the interim title. Francis was petitioning for an interim belt for like 2 years and never got it. Kept knocking off guys, never got his rematch with Stipe at the time. And Stipe wanted to do his thing with DC, so we should have got an interim title for sure. This time, Francis wins the belt in a rematch with Stipe. 4.5 months later, they expect him to fight another title fight in Houston, Texas, not realizing he went to Cameroon to see his family for a month. He just became the first African UFC heavyweight champion in Cameroon. You know, of course he has to go see his family and all of this. So the whole thing happened really weird. We were shocked by it. Francis was definitely very unhappy by it. He told them that the dates he was willing to fight Derek Lewis, and for some reason the system, the machine wanted him to fight a certain date. And it was only 4 months after he had won the belt. Who does that anyway, especially when he has so many obligations after that championship? So it was weird, but they created an interim belt after 4 months when there was a undisputed heavyweight champion. That wasn't like Francis was injured or anything. It's weird the way they did it, but like I said, when you have no one to answer to, you can make policies and regulations the way you see fit. That's what UFC has done. It's official now. January 22nd, Francis and Ciryl will fight. And to me, he's the interim champ, but it shouldn't be an interim champ. So we'll get to see the champion, Francis Ngannou, defend his belt against Ciryl Gane. And it's going to be a very exciting, excellent matchup. There's drama. There's all kind of intermingling concepts, and it's going to be a great night of fighting.
It's crazy, too, because you said it yourself. It's drama, and you know drama sells. That's what everyone wants. Former camp, former training partner, former coach, comes to Vegas. You're a striking coach. He goes to Extreme Couture. I mean, he goes through guys, just knocks them out, and he's the champion. But what's so interesting, too, is, like, I remember prior to 2018, prior to that first Stipe fight and everything, they were really pushing Francis's name.
Yeah.
There was a lot of what you said earlier. You brought up on TV, Watch Me on TV. Everyone talked about Francis.
Yeah.
And after that loss, it just seems like obviously he's come back to his ways and he's the champion now. That's what the ultimate goal was. But they haven't pushed him the same as they did prior to that first Stipe loss in 2018.
Yeah, it's just, you know.
Was it 2018?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, things happen for some reason. Dana and the guys that make the decisions kind of are doing what they see fit. We don't know the reason. We don't know the rationale behind it, but they're doing what they think is right, which our team think is absolutely not right. But it's okay. One thing about fighting, guys, at some point, people are going to have to fight. At some point, belts will be decided, champions will be known, and history will be made. And that's our goal, to be on the top of that history board for a long time. And January 22nd is no different for me. Me as a coach, I don't even look at opponents, man. I look at fights. I look at us doing what we have to do to win, and that's what I care about. Because Gunn is definitely a formidable opponent, and whether he got there skipping the line or not, that's the reality of it. Francis already agreed to fight him, so it's going to go down January 22nd, and we're going to prepare Francis best we can to be victorious, and that's what we plan on being.
And he's going to win.
100%.
Yep.
I'm excited.
I'm excited. What was your reaction to a couple weeks ago to Jon Jones is in town? He gets the Hall of Fame acceptance. And obviously this is someone, too, that Francis has in the back of his mind for the future,
Mega
for
fight.
legacy, for
I
mega fight,
know.
everything.
Mega.
Allegiant Stadium,
Yes.
it could have been there.
And obviously the news happened, you know, the charges against Jon Jones and everything like that. You know, they put him down in the ranking system. He went from the number 2 pound for pound. Now he's dropped to the 4 pound for pound. What do you make of the whole Jon Jones situation? Actually, I don't even need that. I just want to think, do you still think in the back of your mind that Jon Jones will meet Francis Ngannou inside the octagon at some point with a belt on the line?
If Jon Jones wants to and is willing to make the proper steps to make it happen, absolutely. It's all Jon, man. You know, sometimes our greatest assets that makes us great are also the same things that makes us make the wrong choices. You know, Jon Jones feels like he's a king. And when you feel like you're a king, sometimes you feel like you don't have to answer to anyone. And the moment we get to where we don't have to answer to anyone, sometimes we can make mistakes. And we just hope, first of all, I'm a straight black man in America, African American, real proud about the African thing. And so I hope Jon Jones really, and I'm dead serious right here, this is no cap, I hope Jon Jones really gets his life in order and be a productive member to this society that we live in, because too many times we get viewed a certain way. And I really hope he stops adhering to these stereotypes that we have to go through. Not all black men beat their women or don't take care of their kids and all of that type of shit. I was late today picking up my daughter from school, basketball practice. So bigger than this fight thing, Jon Jones is a brother. I support him. Hopefully he'll do the right things to get on the right side of righteousness. And if he does that, he can definitely get into a fight with whoever he wants because he does deserve that. He hasn't been beaten in the UFC. He deserves to be able to fight Francis or whomever he selects. Just like if Khabib were to come back, he could choose who he want to fight. Jon Jones is the greatest MMA fighter of all time up to this point until Francis surpasses him. So hopefully he'll get his stuff together, and after that, Francis definitely wants that fight. The world deserves a fight like that, and hopefully we'll get it.
Yeah, Jon Jones has been spending all this time building that body. Talked about building that strong base. I'm watching him deadlift. I'm watching him squat, getting those legs right, getting him strong. Yes. But even after just seeing how Glover Teixeira won, it just reinforced in the back of my mind, man, Jon Jones is truly the GOAT of this sport. He's the LeBron James of this sport, or the Michael Jordan of this sport. And we have to, as a fan, I have to see him at heavyweight. And man, oh man, there's no better fight to watch. If you just think about it right now on paper, Francis Ngannou, Jon Jones. Yeah. And I know that's what Francis wanted as well.
Yeah, for sure. Right now, since we have a real fight, Ciryl Gane is all we care about.
Right.
But of course, a fantasy fight would be Jon Jones and Francis. And I already know what's going to happen in that one anyway. But yeah, if it happens, it'll be great for the fans of MMA to see.
But the big positive here is Francis isn't losing out in the bank account here. It's not like he's stripped from a title. The gold is on the line. You have the storyline too. I think, if anything, it's going to add the hype to it because there's two belts on the line, the interim and the real deal, which Francis has. So I'm extremely happy about that.
Yeah, for sure. But it's a great matchup. And remember, Ciryl's a big man too, so to see two big Goliath dudes fighting it out, you can't get any better than that.
And let's be real too, the first fight with Derek Lewis, it wasn't the most exciting heavyweight fight of all time as well too. So I like that things kind of work themselves out. Hindsight's 50-50, but at least where we're at today, January, UFC 270 in Anaheim, that's going to be a hell of a card, and especially too. I think this is the first time the UFC is fighting in California since the pandemic started as well. Yes,
I think you're at the last one. You and Francis went to the last fight in UFC. What wasn't it? Acosta and my guy
Marvin Vettori.
Yes. No. It was Acosta and my guy who's now in Bellator. I can't even,
Yoel Romero.
Yes, Romero. They were at that fight. And sorry, yo, I know your name, I'm thinking about shit. But yeah, they were at that fight in California. So, yeah, that was huge.
So this week is a huge week. I don't know if we were catching ourselves talking about it. Canelo Plant, Usman, Covington too at MSG. This is like a fight fan's dream right here this weekend.
Super Bowl of fights.
Yeah,
so I hate they're the same. I wish they would have split them up a week apart, man.
I know, right?
God.
But I think the last time the UFC was in New York, there was a Canelo fight too when it was the Nate Diaz Masvidal fight.
Earlier or later or something.
They waited. They waited to have Canelo walk till after the Diaz Masvidal fight. So I think the same thing's going to end up happening too.
Yeah, maybe. But like I said, man, when Canelo comes to town, it's going down. And Caleb Plant, he's a real one. Don't be surprised, man. Don't be surprised.
Everyone puts it in the category of this is just, he might just be like a little bit better version of Billy Joe Saunders, but it's going to end in the same way, in type of way. Obviously, Canelo's going to wear him down and beat him. And, do you see it differently, though?
If he's a little bit better than Billy Joe, you better strap up and be nervous as hell because Billy Joe was right where he needed to be. Yeah. One thing I will say, Caleb is not going to quit because he got hit hard. Right. Caleb is not going to quit because something got broken. Guys, it's a fight, and once the bell starts, things get broken. Are we going to just stop fighting because it happens? No, and I know for sure Caleb will fight to the end. So it'll be a little different than Billy Joe regardless because Caleb is going to let his hands go. He can move. He can box. He has the size advantage, and he has a big heart, man. And Coach Larry Wade, all his coaches have really prepared him very well, man. I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see it. He has a huge chance to shock the world. One thing I will say, it won't be an easy fight for sure.
I really think Canelo going to win that fight, but I don't think he's going to win by decision. He's going to be win by KO.
Yeah.
I give him 10 rounds.
Yeah. You know, it's possible. 10 rounds is a good fight. You know, like I said, I'm a little biased because I know Caleb and my heart is with him, but I just know, man. I know his story. I know how he came up. He used to kickbox too, so you know I got love for our kickboxing brethren. He got a chance, and I'm rooting for him. I'm rooting for him to put the upset. Canelo's arguably the best boxer in the world. I like Terence Crawford in that regard.
Yeah.
But yes, pound for pound, probably number one right now. It's hard to dethrone the number one guy, so it's definitely a huge task for Caleb Plant. Hopefully he can do it.
I'm glad you brought that up with Terence Crawford too, because you can certainly make that argument, and I'm just so happy that Shawn Porter fight's happening, because now you're going to see that crossover of the PBC guys that opens up the floodgates. So then we could finally see the fight that I've been calling for years, the best fight. She's been calling for it too.
Which one?
Come on, Errol Spence Jr. and Terence Crawford for the best welterweight on the planet. That's the fight to make.
Yes.
That's the best fighting the best.
Yes, well, I'll tell you what, Shawn Porter and Terence Crawford is damn close.
Oh,
to
yeah. Sure. Oh, especially the way Shawn Porter fought against Errol Spence too.
Yes, I'm telling you right now, that's 1A, 1B, because I'm trying to tell you, Terence Crawford and Shawn Porter are about to go to war.
I can't wait.
And I
November
actually
20th.
like the style matchup of Porter versus Crawford better than the Errol Spence Crawford matchup, because we know Crawford is going to come with that power boxing, elusive style, switching stance, and we know Porter bringing that pressure. He's bringing real street fighter pressure, and I cannot wait to see that fight, because Spence will get on his jab and box a little bit. So Spence and Crawford could end up being a straight boxing match. We know with Porter and Crawford, it's boxer versus brawler at his highest level, and it's going down this weekend. Woo, I can't wait.
November 20th.
Oh, yeah.
I know.
Yeah,
We'll
3
be-
weeks. 3 weeks. 3
3
weeks.
weeks. We'll be there.
3 weeks.
At Mandalay Bay.
That's Canelo going down
Canelo
this
going down.
weekend. Yeah, give me hype. 3 weeks. By the way, I have a guy. I'll be working that fight. We have a guy fighting. He's fighting the co-main event on that card, and I'm just like the fourth guy. His trainer called me, said, "Hey, I have room for another corner. You want to jump in the corner for the co-main event on the Terence Crawford Shawn Porter undercard?" I said, "Hell yeah, I'm there. I had the best seat in the house." So I'll be at the show in 3 weeks. Looking forward to it.
Us too. So do you give Caleb Plant a better shot at beating Canelo than Colby Covington beating Usman this weekend?
Whoa,
I'm going deep.
Ooh.
I'm going deep.
The first fight with Usman and Colby was a great fight. I felt Usman didn't fight too smart. He could have made that fight easier, but it was a reason. Homie got under his skin. Colby got under his skin, and he wanted to prove that Wakanda forever for real versus the MAGA shit he had going on. So I understand why Usman went ahead and put them hands on him. But that was a very competitive fight, and some people had Cubby winning that fight till the knockout happened. You know what I mean? There was people saying, yeah, we had Colby up 2 rounds going into the third. You know, it was weird.
2-2. Some people say 2-2 going in the fifth.
Yeah, it was weird. I think they gave him like the 4th round going into the 5th round. It got weird. And who knows what would have happened. Luckily, Usman knocked him out, because who knows what would have happened on those scorecards, boy. You know, that MAGA shit was going on big at that point. Who knows what would have happened. That was a very competitive fight. I see the second fight being competitive also. A lot of people think the Caleb-Canelo fight won't be as competitive. So you'd have to say most likely the Usman-Covington fight will be more competitive on paper. So I would go with that. However, I think Caleb's going to be very competitive and could upset Canelo.
And obviously, Usman is number 1 pound for pound. Francis is on that list too. What does Francis have to do to be right there and to surpass Usman as number 1 pound for pound?
We already know title defenses. Usman been wrecking shop lately, man. Usman is getting
twice.
Busy. So the pound for pound should be about title defenses.
Yeah.
That's why when everyone starts saying Khabib is the number 1 MMA fighter of all time, we're like, hold your horses. He seems to be that guy. He seems that he could be that guy, but you got to go by title defenses, and that's why I said Jon Jones and people, or Anderson Silva, or GSP. You got to go by title defenses because the guys, you could have a great record in UFC, 20-0, but if you didn't fight anyone in the top 5 all the way to the champion, who knows if you're really the truth? We know Khabib is the truth, but that was my problem with saying he was the best guy. I feel he was the pound for pound best at the time he was fighting, but all time you got to go with title defenses. So what Francis has to do to surpass Usman is keep winning in emphatic fashion like he's doing in emphatic fashion, and he's gonna end up being that guy because you cannot surpass the heavyweights. When heavyweights go on a run, the way they be knocking guys out, they got to be number 1, man.
But as someone with the striking credentials that you guys both have, when you look at what just happened at UFC 267, when you look at the Khamzat Chimaevs, the Islam Makhachevs, you look at that region of the world, Dagestan, you see how wrestling is their base and what these guys are doing, this infiltration of talent from that part of the world. Where do you see the future of UFC champions and stylistically how things will shape out over time?
It's funny you say that. Everyone has their era. But remember, man, the Dagestanis, the Chechens, the Russians, they're coming. But they've been here for a long time. But remember, we got 3 African champions, brother. 3 African champions, brother.
Usman and Gane.
Wakanda, brother. Wakanda. The African reign ain't over yet. However, the Dagestani region, the Russian region have always had tough guys. And you're right, with the wrestling they're bringing to the table, very, 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 very dominant. But everyone's talking about the guy you just mentioned fighting Kamaru Usman. You know what Usman would do to him? You know what Usman would do to him, man? Usman would beat him on the striking and beat him on the wrestling, man. Usman's the real deal when it comes to wrestling too. There's some boys out here with some good old American wrestling that can wrestle with these guys. So that's why, remember a minute ago I said guys could be 20-0, but until they fought the top 5 all the way up to the champions, we don't know if they're the real deal or not. Let these guys start beating these top 5 guys and fight the champion, especially right now when Usman's in his prime. You're going to see that there's levels to this, man. I like what I'm seeing out of all those guys. I trained several. I've been training Uzbek, Kazakhstani, and Russian fighters since the early 2000s. One of my boxing champions was from Kazakhstan, and I stayed an extensive amount of time all over Russia, especially Kazakhstan. I got love for them Russian fighters, man.
Triple G, Kazakhstan.
Yeah, Triple G, of course. I met Triple G years ago before anyone knew who he was. He was a friend of my boxer, Beibut Shumanov, who was the WBA heavyweight champion. So I know about these Russian fighters, man. Zorsky, with all that power. I know about them. But right now, we got 3 African champions, brother. It ain't about region, but right now, the African boys running things, and Usman's going to run things for a while. And I would love to see a matchup with some of the Dagestani fighters against Usman because he's the one guy who does have that good old-fashioned wrestling that could counteract what they bring to the table.
Yeah, I mean, people are already hypothetically thinking Usman, Chimaev, but I think Chimaev's next fight, someone like Gilbert Burns, who's fought for the title, who's got the grappling accolades, that would be fun because
Gilbert beats him straight up. That's what I'm saying. When they start moving up to that high level, man, Gilbert's one guy that I would pick right now that beats him.
I want to see that fight.
Yeah.
I want to, because that's the measuring stick. He beats Gilbert, then I'm willing to see him fight for the title next.
He needs a few more fights. He needs about a year or two before he's really for that next championship.
The guy has literally taken 2 strikes in 4 UFC fights, only one of them being significant. He hasn't even been touched yet.
Yeah, but that's because he hasn't fought a guy with a well-rounded game and does have some wrestling. If you have no wrestling, these Dagestani guys are gonna mop the floor with your ass. You ain't got a shot, straight up. No shot. You got to have some wrestling. So that's where the well-rounded skills come in, and you got to have a good wrestling base. Usman has that wrestling base. Burns has that ground game and explosive power with his striking. So guys like that, I want to see Chimaev fight to see if he's the real deal. I think they're being way too premature with that. He needs a little more time because, as Francis knows, as Carlos knows, when you're fighting and just beating people up too easy, what are you going to do when you finally get hit in the mouth and a guy defends the takedown? Or are you going to start doubting yourself? We haven't seen him in disadvantaged situations. We've seen Khabib get hurt in fights. We've seen him have to almost get choked out against Poirier, and we've seen what he does at that moment of adversity. He gets stronger. Everyone ain't Khabib, and I got to see this guy get in those positions before I could crown him as the up-and-coming new dude.
That's fair. Who do you think's got more hype behind them, or who do you think? Let me put it to you this way: who do you like more between these two guys, Islam and Chimaev? Who do you think fights for the gold strap first, or who do you think becomes a champion first? If you think either of them will,
I like Islam. I like Islam better because he's been showing that body of work way longer. Remember, we talked about the system. We talked about the machine earlier. The machine can work against you, like a lot of people felt like it did for Francis with this interim title thing, or it can work for you, catapulting your ass to stardom before you may not even be ready. You know what I mean? So right now he has the machine and the system really working for him, and he seems to be panning out like it's real. But he's still untested to me. I got to see him fight someone with a well-rounded skill base and who can take it to the ground too. And I want to see that. And like you said, Gilbert Burns would be a great matchup for us to judge that off of. I want to see it.
We were just in Florida. We saw the PFL championship. You've been following Kayla Harrison's dominant career and stuff like that. It's like you talk about what's next, and then you look at the UFC. There's still no rankings for a female featherweight division. They don't have anyone at 145. And I still think, like, when it comes to female MMAs, you have a top tier of certain individuals, and then everyone below, there's still kind of levels to it. When you start talking about the Amanda Nunes's, the Valentina Shevchenko's, you look at Rose Namajunas, you look at a Kayla Harrison, you can put, like, Joanna and Wei Li up there too, but, like, it's a limited list. If you're Kayla Harrison, you're a free agent. You know, you got a decision to make. You're making $1 million when you win these tournaments. You're a teammate of Amanda Nunes. What do you think Kayla Harrison should do?
First of all, Kayla's fighting at 155, so there's.
But she did fight at 145 in Invicta.
If she gets to 45, if she can make it healthy, strong, energetic, then she has options. But I'm sorry, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Carlos Takam, this girl has won 2 years in a row, $1 million tournaments. And by the way, guys, that's not all she's making. You get paid per fight.
Yeah.
So that money is skyrocketing. She's got to be at least 1.5 or more per year.
I think so. Plus sponsors and all that.
Yeah, I'm talking about just fight purses. She's smashing everyone in the company. She hasn't, she finally got to a second round?
Yeah.
I mean, this girl killing everybody. Yeah, this girl, Kayla Harris.
She's a 2-time Olympic gold medalist for judo. So she's not known for her hands, but she's taking everyone down and she's slamming them. She's smashing them.
Slams them, grounds and pounds them, submits them. I mean, you're in the PFL, a good company. PFL is gaining momentum. You won 2 years in a row, $1 million tournament. You're a 2-time champ. You're a free agent. Come back next year. You're going to get more money per fight. You still win the $1 million at the end of the year. I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You train with the UFC champ Amanda Nunes. Unless you want to bang against your friend, what's the point? Are the UFC going to give her a multi-million-dollar deal right out the blocks? Probably not. Get that money. at least 2-3 more times. Be the 5-time PFL champion. And if the demand is that great for you and Amanda to fight at some point, you guys do it for the world and make a boatload of money for it. There's no way I would move anywhere else, because who's going to beat her at this time? And in those other companies, who's going to beat her in there? She grabbed you, man. She's like Ronda Rousey 2.0. When she grabbed you, man, it's a done deal. She's strong. I love her bravado. And she works hard, man. So I like what she's doing. And I would stay with PFL for sure.
What about our guy, Kevin Lee? What's next for him? Like, what do you do? Because this guy, one of the best in the division in his time, the fight with Tony Ferguson for the interim belt at one time, toe-to-toe with the best guys. I was there in New York, actually, last time the UFC was in New York, with that head kick, that knockout, Gregor Gillespie. That was the knockout of the night at that fight. He's had so many flashes of brilliance, and then obviously he's had a lot of letdowns. How do you right the ship?
We just got to get back to training and get back to the purity of what brought you to the sport. So many times, and Carlos, he knows this, so many times we get clouded by success and expectation and all of this. We got to do this for us. When he trains for him. And, of course, the whole country of Cameroon is rooting and they're cheering, so that's pressure. But we got to do it for ourselves. And the basic premise of mathematics is what the KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid. When shit gets too crowded and complex, go back to the basics and keep it simple. To Kevin's defense, he did have 2 ACL tears. That was his first fight. His last fight against Rodriguez was his first fight back.
170 too.
Yeah, at 170. But after 2 major knee surgeries, man, fighting is hard to do. I've had 4 knee surgeries, and I remember my first fight coming back. I was fighting in K1, kickboxing, where they kicking the kneecaps all day. It was weird wondering, can I really check these kicks? So this last fight Kevin had, the game plan was going good, and things just happened. But he did come off two major knee surgeries, and he can definitely make this. He can rewrite this the correct way. It's just about just getting back to the gym, no stress, just express, and just doing this for him, feeling good about what he's doing, and just kind of alleviating all the static. And he's doing that right now. He's taking the proper steps to getting back to himself. And as a coach and a friend of Kevin, I love him dearly. Whatever he needs, I'm down to do it. Whether I'm in the picture or not, he's my guy. I rock with Kevin Lee for real. So I just wish the best for him. And he will be, he has a good family structure and all that. He'll be back. It's just unfortunate, man. This fight world is unforgiving. You get a few losses and people just write you off like you were never that guy. And that's why we don't listen to the static. That's why we listen to our heart, our soul, and our mind, and nothing else. And that's all he has to do.
170 or 155? Where do you like to see him?
That's a complex question. That's a complex question, man. God, it's such a peculiar situation with that. And as the coach, unfortunately, I can say I really don't know. I like him at 170 because I know it's safer. So I guess I got to go with 170. Just got to deal with it at 170. 155, man, those cuts were scary.
That's why I've been pushing that 165-pound weight division. Just make it increments of 10. 155, yes. 65, make welterweight 175.
Better.
That's too much of a jump. Even between 185 and 205. You guys don't have that in boxing because you have a cruiserweight. But, 20 pounds at that type of size, that's a lot of weight.
Last week, they started the first ever Bridgerweight title.
Bridgerweight title.
You guys here? Last week, it's light heavyweight, cruiserweight, Bridgerweight, then heavyweight.
Some more belts.
Oscar Rivas just won the Bridgerweight title last week, and the Bridgerweight title was named after a kid it was a little boy who saved his drowning sister or saved her from dogs, or it was a crazy story, like a heroic story. A little kid fought off dogs or something to save his sister.
Oh, I know. Is that the one who's got the scar in the face? I know who that is.
And they named that belt after him.
Well,
Wow.
I'm
So
happy
that's
about that.
awesome.
I'm happy about that story.
Yeah.
That's a great story.
Yeah.
What's the weight?
200 to 220. That makes it interesting because
Deontay Wilder
Deontay
could fight
Wilder's
in
weight.
that.
Deontay Wilder's weight. Exactly.
Is that the future of Deontay Wilder's fights?
come on.
Bridger?
I doubt it. He's heavyweight champ, 40 wins, 40-something knockouts. I doubt it, but there is a new weight class, sir. So the reason why I bring that up, if boxing can do it, so can mixed martial arts. Get the goddamn race right. 25, 35, 45, 55, 65, 75, 85, 205, and heavyweights. Let's go.
So, Carlos, with all the dogs that you've been inside the squared circle with, like, who hits the damn hardest?
This is the question that asks me every time. Come on, man.
Carlos said, nobody, brother. Wakanda.
Well, I mean, I'm opening this up for, Wakanda Francis Ngannou. Is he up there? I basically, if I could steer this question in a better way, it's like I want to know the difference between the MMA power and the boxing power.
It's different. Yes.
It's different for
Yes,
sure.
it's different. But for that question you just asked me, I'm gonna. I have someone, Mike Perez. You know Mike Perez?
Mike Perez?
I remember Mike Perez.
Mike Perez. I fought with him in Montreal. That guy was. Man,
Oh, my
come on.
He was hitting hard, huh?
Yes. Ooh.
To him say that,
Yeah.
he must have been hitting hard. I'm telling you.
Yes, that guy was powerful. Yes, Mike Perez, that guy. Since I fight Mike Perez, I never fought somebody like this.
Okay.
Yes.
So you answered that pretty simply.
Yeah.
You knew the answer right off the bat.
In the dream fight, Carlos, dream fight, all time, not just the fighters of today.
Yeah.
What heavyweight would you have loved to fight?
You know,
Muhammad Ali,
we were supposed.
Joe Frazier,
Joe Frazier.
Joe
Come
Frazier.
on.
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Joe Frazier.
We had Ali's grandkids in the podcast too. We had Nico and Biagio too. And Nico's now 2-0.
Yes.
I think he just needs to get that head movement and that defense up a little bit. But
Yeah, just keep training, keep doing what Top Rank's doing with him. We'll see. We'll see.
carrying on the legacy. I mean, that's what counts too, right?
Yeah. But sir, why Joe Frazier versus Ali?
No, come on, stop. I
Yeah, why Joe Frazier over Ali?
I cannot say nothing now.
Yeah, okay.
It's a secret. Come on, man. It's
Okay.
gonna be official, so I can.
Yes. Okay. Hey guys, I'm sworn to secrecy. Don't worry.
Yes,
Coming soon.
coming soon.
Anything that you want to plug that you can plug that right here, right now on the podcast. We really appreciate you guys coming on.
In December, we were supposed to fight Tyson Fury last December. in
Yes.
London.
During the pandemic,
Yeah.
we were this close to starting
close
a
to
fight
fight
with
Tyson
Tyson
Fury.
Fury. I was so
So they
excited for it.
canceled the fight.
Yeah.
So I just want to say, I'm still waiting for Tyson Fury for that fight. And we're gonna coming back. Don't worry.
Yes.
We're coming back after the fight in February. You know what's gonna happen.
Yes.
Okay.
And since we're talking, I'm gonna take over your show, Schmo and Helen. Carlos, you're from Cameroon. Francis from Cameroon. How are we gonna really improve the boxing? We'll speak strictly boxing. The boxing in Africa. What do we have to do to really? There's been some great fighters, Zuma Nelson, several guys, but per capita, what kind of movements we have to make to help improve the overall boxing training and boxing development in Africa?
Why you ask me that question?
It's a great question.
It's a great question.
I want people to know. I'm not trying to put you on the spot.
No, I know. I understand. The last time I was in Africa, I make a tour in Africa, Congo, Cameroon, Gabon, and Rwanda for the same question. They asked me the same question in Africa. So I told people in Africa, I'm here now today because I really want to find the real boxing, because in Africa everybody want to be champion.
Yes.
But they don't have an opportunity. You know, they don't give them that opportunity to be champion. We don't have a gym in Africa. You know, we don't have a gym in Africa. We have nothing. So everywhere I go in Africa, like in Congo, in Cameroon, I try to build something. I try to put a gym in Congo. I try to organize a fight in Congo to see what I can do to help people in Africa to be champion for tomorrow.
Yes, yes.
So I try my best, I try my best to do everything I can in Africa to help them too.
So if you're listening to this show, we give money to all different things. We need to set up a structure, especially all the brothers out there, boxing champions and stuff. We need to go give back to the motherland, go out there, do a tour, do a camp, train some kids, inspire some kids, because we do it everywhere else, man. So we definitely need to do that, because we see just from the emergence of MMA how great some of these guys can be. And boxing also. So we really need to get back there. And I've been talking to Carlos about that. I can't wait to go to Africa and train the kids and all of that.
I told you the last time I was in Congo.
Yes.
In that place, the place where Muhammad Ali and
he was in Zaire.
Yeah, in Zaire.
And where Ali and Foreman fought. He was in the stadium and he called me. Look where I am.
I show you the picture. I show you everything. I said, we here to make the same fight like Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier. We want to make the same thing in Congo. And people in Congo support us. So they asked me if I can bring George Foreman, if I can bring Leila Ali to Congo. I said, yes, I can do it. So they told me, let's do it. Let's make that fight.
Yes, and we need to keep petitioning for UFC Africa. Just because they've been everywhere else, why the fuck not?
You can have 3 title fights.
Yeah.
Crazy night.
As long as things go according to plan.
Hey, don't try to jinx us, buddy.
No, I'm not. I'm not trying to jinx it. I would come. I would be there.
Yeah.
We would be there in Africa 100%.
Definitely.
And you have your gym opened up a few months ago now.
Yes, no, well, a new gym.
Okay.
A new gym. I tell you guys, we just opened up a place basically last week. It was October 1st, but we made it open to the public last week.
Congrats.
It's the exact address. I don't even know it off my head. It's so new. Hold on 1 second. But anyway, we opened up a new gym. I did a partnership with my friend Eric, and we have a gym called Split T Boxing BK MMA. And it's on Blue Diamond. I'm not sure if you guys know that area.
We live
Blue
nearby.
Diamond, Orville. There used to be that UFC gym in that plaza.
Yep.
We bought that out and took it over as of October 1st.
Oh, congrats.
So that gym is now called Split T Boxing BK MMA. And we have a lot of great programs there. We got just classes every hour. We got, of course, the professional training. We have amateur training. And then we have regular fitness and kids classes for kids that want to come out and learn real training. Still, we make it exciting and fun, but you're learning real techniques. And we have stuff for women that just want to come there and get in shape, heavy bag classes and boxing classes and stuff of that nature. Yeah, man, we're real excited about the gym. We're newly open. We have all kind of deals going on. Come check us out. The actual address is... Let me read the address. Like I said, it's brand new. I got so many addresses in my head. I'm embarrassed that I don't know it off bat, but you know how that shit goes. It's 4380 Blue Diamond.
4380 Blue Diamond. Check it out.
But just remember, guys, it's a big-ass plaza. Got the Target in there, Tropical Smoothie, a Kohl's grocery clothing store.
I always go in that plaza.
Yeah, we're right there. There's a Massage Envy there. There's a Quick Care there.
Baskin Robbins.
Man, just to shout out every single place, restaurant. Here we go.
I know all the places, but I don't know the fucking address.
No, it's a good area. I know exactly what it is. There's a Bears bar across the street, too. I'm a Chicago Bears fan.
Yes.
So I know that's there.
So, yeah, check us out. Split T Boxing, BK MMA, whether you into boxing or mixed martial arts or just, getting in shape and your fitness, we got it there. Oh, the camera's there. Check us out.
Awesome. I appreciate you guys coming on.
Thank you.
Episode 82 of the Schmozone podcast.
Wow, episode 82. Schmo, you're not going to talk about anything controversial like Joe Rogan being banished by the media for his for his take on the vaccine or anything weird, any real life topics we want to talk about so people can see our worldwide broad perspective on real shit. What we doing?
I mean, these fans, there's so many great fights going on. What did you want to talk about? Do you want to talk about UFOs?
Do you believe in them or not?
100%.
100%. I do too. 100%.
100%. Every single civilization, great civilization that has lived on this world has come to an end. Sadly, I hate to end things on bad notes, but civilizations will come to an end.
Yes.
We know more about space than we know more about our oceans, too.
Yes, 100%. But the AI will be the demise of the civilization.
100%.
And that shit ain't going to happen until about 2300 or something.
Well, I never say never. The way technology is moving this day and age, there's things that happened 10 years ago that I never thought 10 years forward we'd see now.
Yes.
Just these smartphone devices, too. Imagine the technology that we have in these phones is better than what put us on the moon.
That's right, 100%.
So,
100%.
It's scary thoughts. But
humanity will prevail for the next 170, 200 years. Then we'll die off because these phones will conquer us eventually and we'll be obsolete. But that ain't happening until about 2300. I chose 23 because of Michael Jordan's number. And we're going to rock with that.
And, I did say the greatest of all time basketball. It's not LeBron. It is Michael Jordan. I'm a diehard Michael Jordan.
And debate. LeBron's awesome. We love him. He's a better philanthropist than Michael Jordan.
100%.
And civil rights guy
Yeah.
than Michael Jordan. But we talk about that court. Forget about it, man.
Yeah.
It's MJ all day. Straight up.
I agree. And that's the best way to end this episode. Appreciate you guys coming on.
Thank you very much. Carlos Takam, Cameroon, Wakanda forever.